Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm not just gonna take you through what I eat in a day, but I'm actually gonna tell you why I'm choosing to eat it. Because I am currently in my intentional nutrition era. So yes, I wanna eat foods that are healthy, but also foods that are really satiating, high in protein, are gonna keep me fuller for longer so I don't have to think about food every hour, and that are also just like mentally satisfying because I wanna enjoy what I'm eating. And the best way to sustain a healthy diet, a healthy lifestyle, is to make sure that you actually enjoy the foods on your plate. On that note, just a little bit of like a goals update for you guys to understand better like why I'm eating what I'm eating. It is currently end of May, and so we are about 5 weeks out from summer. And I feel really good with like my level of leanness. I'm not really trying to go into like a deficit or anything per se. I actually just wrapped up a deficit like just over 2 months ago. With that said, I wouldn't mind doing like a little bit of like, I guess I'll call it a bit of a tune-up cut. Like if I were to quantify this, maybe it would equate to like 1 or 2 pounds of loss on the scale. It's more so like I just want to feel a tad bit snatchier. So like maybe I'm trying to create like a 10% deficit, if you will. And that's like not a substantial enough deficit. And my goal is not like enough of a fat loss goal for me to actually have the bandwidth or feel like or want to track my calories right now. Instead, what I'm gonna be doing is just consciously being a little bit more mindful of my portion sizes. And the reason that I can do this like mindfully without tracking is because I have spent lots of time tracking, guys, by the way. So I just like have a really good idea of how to plate things. But I'm also gonna show you guys like how I plate things mindfully. Like I'm gonna show you my thought process in this video. But really like the biggest thing I'm doing to like really tune up and like feel a tad bit leaner going into July is honing into more movement. So this week in GGE, which stands for Gym Girl Era, my women's lifting membership, we actually started a new training phase. And coupled with that, myself and the girls in our community are doing like a little 5-week lock-in before summer challenge. So basically on top of doing the weightlifting workouts, which I wrote for us, which by the way, are very conditioning focused in this phase. And I did that on purpose because I know a lot of us in the group have fat loss goals going into summer. We are also as a community all gonna be aiming for 70,000 steps per week, which equates to 10,000 steps per day on average, and 75 to 90 minutes of low intensity steady state cardio per week. So ultimately, my goals right now for the next 5 weeks, movement-wise, are gonna be 4 weightlifting workouts per week. I'm doing the 4-day split from my Gym Girl Era membership, 70,000 steps per week. So I am aiming for 10,000 steps per day on average. And then I'm doing 2 45-minute cardio sessions per week. So that's how I'm getting the 90 minutes of cardio in. So before this little 5-week lock-in challenge started a couple of days ago, I was averaging more so around 7,000 steps per day. And I haven't really been doing cardio, to be honest, for the last several weeks. So the fact alone that I'm adding an extra 3,000 steps per day on average to what I was doing before and adding in cardio, even if I just like ate the exact same way as I was eating before, I'm probably going to inevitably end up putting myself into a small deficit just because I am moving more. So that's like where a lot of misconception comes in. I think a lot of people think you can only create a deficit by eating less. And honestly, that is like the main way to create a calorie deficit. Like you could keep your movement the exact same as what you are currently doing right now. And if you just started eating less calories, like watching your portion sizes, all that stuff, you would lose weight because you're creating a calorie deficit via lowering your calorie intake. But remember, you can also create a calorie deficit by, you could keep your intake of calories the same and increase your movement, increase the calories coming out of your body. Or you could do a little combination of both, right? Where you eat a little bit less, or you become a little bit more conscious of your portion sizes, your calories, and you start moving a little bit more. So for the next 5 weeks, like I said, I'm really honing into the moving more side of things because I don't really have the bandwidth to track my calories. And like I said, I don't have like major fat loss goals, if anything, like maybe like 1 or 2 pounds on the scale, if anything. Like I just want to feel a tad like bit leaner. So I'm honing more into movement, and nutrition wise, I'm basically gonna be just cleaning up a couple little things here and there, being a little bit more stingy with some of my portion choices. On that note, if you're listening to this and it's like end of May, like I just posted this video, you should totally join the lock-in challenge. My GGE membership is only $25.99 per month, and you can cancel anytime. So you're basically getting like a challenge and a community of women and access to me for support and questions for $25.99 every 4 weeks. So if this sounds really appealing to you and you want to hone more into the movement side of things and join us for the next 5 weeks leading into summer, or even if you're listening to this like way after I posted it and you just want to try out the Gym Girl Era membership anyways, I will leave the links below and you can use code YouTube at checkout to get $5 off your first month. Okay, so that was just like a little bit of a mini personal goals recap. Now, before I actually start eating, and I'm getting hungry, and showing you guys what I'm eating, I want to just quickly explain to you guys like the thought process of how I make a plate of food so that everything I show you just like makes more sense. Basically, and especially if I'm not tracking and I don't have like my MyFitnessPal to tell me that I've like hit my protein goals for the day and all that stuff, I make a conscious effort to make sure that on majority of my plates of food, like in majority of my meals, I include a source of protein, healthy fats, veggies or leafy greens, and carbs. For the carbs, I do my best to make sure it's usually complex carbohydrates, but if not, then just like any carbs. I call this my core 4 approach to nutrition, by the way, which I like totally made up. So basically, by ensuring that majority of your plates of food across the day include some element of those 4 things, you're gonna be helping your body to build muscle. You're gonna find that your energy levels are far more stable throughout the day. You're also gonna be optimizing brain health, hormone health, and you're actually gonna be like mentally satisfied. You're actually gonna enjoy the food you're eating. Because with this core 4 combination, there is like an endless list of meals you could create that are so delicious. And it doesn't have to be perfect, guys. Like not every single meal has to contain protein, healthy fats, veggies or leafy greens, and carbs. Like maybe some of your meals are gonna be more protein and fat heavy and lower in carbs. And other meals are gonna be slightly higher in carbs, but like lower in fats. As long as it like kind of balances out throughout the day, like it's all good. So without further ado, let's get into breakfast. But before I make breakfast, I'm just gonna make my quick little morning supplement drink. And I just thought I'd show you guys what it is. So I'm gonna put some water in here in a second. I actually normally make this little drink concoction and take it with me to the gym. That's like how I habit stack and make sure that I have this every day. But today is my rest day, and on my rest days, I still wanna make sure I'm taking these things. So I just do it like first thing in the morning. So what I put is some Redmond Real Light, and this is just an electrolyte blend. I love the Redmond Real Salt. That's like the main salt that I like to use to like season things. So I recently tried their electrolyte blend and it is so good. This is the watermelon lime flavor. It actually tastes kind of similar to Element. I don't know if you guys have heard of that brand, LMNT. And apparently the quality is like just as high, but this is quite a lot cheaper. So if you really like Element, but you want something a little bit more cost effective, I would definitely try this. Or if you're just looking for a good electrolyte blend, definitely try this. Like I take electrolytes every day because I go on a lot of outdoor walks. I'm pretty active. I'm doing cardio right now. And it's just like really important for optimal hydration. Another thing I'm taking right now is creatine monohydrate. I recently got back on creatine. I was taking it at one point last year during my bulk, but I am back on it. And guys, like I've only been on it for like 2.5 weeks, but it is not a placebo effect. Like I definitely feel significantly stronger in the gym. I even feel that I have more energy in the gym. Sometimes like if I'm in the gym for a long time, like close to an hour, to me that's a long time, I start to get kind of fatigued towards the end. But since I've been back on creatine, my energy levels have been so much higher, and like I've been hitting PRs left, right, and center. I'm not gonna go into like the science behind creatine in this video. If you guys want me to do that in like a separate video or something, I can. But basically just look into it, do your research. This is one of the most research-backed supplements on the market. And for those of you who are in the gym training, there are so many benefits to taking creatine, but apparently there's also lots of benefits for like your cognition and brain health. It's just like such a good supplement. So if there's any supplement that's actually like not gimmicky and worth the money and scientifically backed, it's creatine monohydrate. And the last thing I put in my little drink concoction is this Better Hormones supplement from the brand Better Days. Now I've only been adding this into my routine for about 3 weeks, so I'm not gonna give like a definitive review just yet. They say you should take it for at least like 2 months before you really start to notice the benefits of it. But basically, this is apparently really good for PMS support. It's like natural anxiety reliever. For me, I started taking this because I experienced awful, like really bad luteal phase bloating. So I was like kind of on the hunt for like some supplements I can take that can potentially help with this, because it was like to the point where I felt like I was living in a different body half of the month. And I heard really good things about this supplement. And the thing I really like about it is that all the ingredients are here are natural ingredients, like ashwagandha, mayo-inositol, milk thistle, kelp, ginger, chaste tree berry, like a couple of other things. It's all natural ingredients. Like you could technically just go and buy every single one of these ingredients from like a pharmacy or Whole Foods. But I know myself, okay? I have learned something about myself, and that is that if I have to take like 10 pills every morning, I won't take it, okay? I just won't be compliant. They're just gonna sit there and expire. Whereas a good drink concoction, I can get with that. I love like a good cocktail-y fruity drink. Like I take one to the gym with me every day. But because this is in drink form, I've actually been super compliant with it and taking it every single day since I got it. And again, I'll give like probably a more thorough review of it after I've been taking it for at least 2 months. But I will say, I just got my period yesterday, and normally like the 10 days leading up are like really bloaty and I feel really bad. Like I don't even want to film content. And I just realized like I did not feel that way at all the last 10 days. I actually was like filming in the gym yesterday and I actually felt really good. Like my abs were peeking through. I did not feel bloated at all, which is like usually unheard of for me, like the day that I get my period. And like the fact that I also trained on day 1 of my period, I don't usually do that either. So maybe this is actually doing something more than I realized. But anyways, let's make a little drink concoction and then move on to breakfast. And for reference, for the creatine, you want to be taking 3 to 5 grams per day. So I use like a scooper that I know for a fact is about 3 to 5 grams because I've measured it out once before. And then I just do 1 scoop of the electrolyte and 1 scoop of the Better Hormones blend. Okay, cheers. It's honestly so good. Like I actually look forward to this. It's like a good tangy cocktail. Like the combination of the watermelon lime from the electrolyte with the pineapple coconut flavor from the Better Hormones is like actually like quite elite. Okay, so I'm still waiting for my focaccia to come out of the toaster oven, but here's my little mushroom turkey egg scramble. So as I kind of already mentioned, I'm not tracking my calories or macros right now, but I am being conscious, particularly of like portion sizes and protein. So I do try to get around at least 30 grams of protein in every meal. So I put 3 slices of turkey. And on the back of the packet, it said every 3 slices was 11 grams of protein. And then I did 2 eggs, and every egg has 7 grams of protein. So that's 14 grams right there. And then I am also going to be putting a little bit of cottage cheese on my focaccia bread. And I don't think that there's half a cup left in here because it says half a cup is 13 grams of protein. It's probably like a quarter of a cup left in here realistically. I need to go get more cottage cheese. So if I did a quarter of a cup of this on my bread, it would be about 7 more grams of protein. So I know I got 11 grams of protein from the turkey. I know I'm getting 14 grams from the eggs. And then let's just say we're getting about like 6 or 7 grams from the cottage cheese. So let's just put 6. So that already equals 31 grams. Plus there is some protein in bread as well. So probably over 30 grams of protein in this meal. So as I already mentioned, we got the protein box checked off primarily from a combination of the eggs, the turkey, and the cottage cheese. And then for healthy fats, I did cook this scramble in some extra virgin olive oil, which I consider a healthy fat source. There's also healthy fats in the egg yolk, of course. And I'm gonna put a little bit of grass-fed butter on some of my focaccia toast as well, which I think is ready now. And then when it comes to veggies or leafy greens, like I classify my mushrooms as checking off that box. It doesn't have to be like an actual green vegetable like broccoli or spinach, like it can be. Anything that classifies as like a vegetable to you, that can tick off the box because it's gonna be high in fiber and micronutrients and all the good things. And the mushrooms are also adding more volume to the scramble, so it's really like kind of filling it up without adding very many extra calories, which is also really helpful for my goals right now. And then for the carbs, of course, I'm having this homemade focaccia bread. Okay guys, so here we have it, a meal that ticks off all of my personal boxes. It has over 30 grams of protein. It also has some healthy fats, some carbs, and some veg, aka mushrooms. So I'm gonna go eat that now, and then I'll be back to show you guys what I'm having for lunch later. Okay guys, I'm about to go for a really nice long walk to a coffee shop And when I get there, I'm gonna settle in for a few hours, get a really nice iced oat latte, and get a bunch of hours of work done. It is just so sunny outside today, like clear blue skies. I cannot work from home. This is like a problem I have. Like, I love my iced coffee that I make from home, but it's not even just that. It's that I wanna like be out in the world. Like, I wanna be in a more lively environment. I just feel like I get more work done some days when I'm like sitting somewhere like around other people working, I guess. Anyways, I'm taking my lunch with me to go because when I tell you I am still full from that egg scramble situation, I mean like I'm so full. Like I'm not even thinking about food right now. And that is like the beauty of the Core 4 approach. When you're constantly getting protein, healthy fats, veggies and leafy greens, like complex carbs in your body every few hours, you will not think about food. You won't even feel peckish or snackish. Like maybe some days, right? Like every day is different. But generally speaking, like you won't. I've helped so many clients with this. And when they actually start implementing it, they always tell me, Tina, wow, like I'm so satisfied all the time. Like I'm not really peckish anymore. My cravings aren't as bad in the evenings. And yeah, that's what happens when you start being more intentional with what actually goes on your plate. Anyways, for lunch today, I'm having this like makeshift Greek salad, I guess you could call it. I make this salad like almost every day. Sometimes I have it as like a side dish with my dinner, or sometimes I have it as like my lunch or a protein source. All I do is chop up some cherry or grape tomatoes, some cucumber, and then I put in a few slices of avocado. And then I season it with salt, lemon pepper, and garlic powder. And then for dressing, I put like a big squeeze of lemon juice, some olive oil, and then like a little bit of balsamic vinegar. Although today I didn't actually put any dressing on it. I just seasoned it because I'm like putting it in my bag and taking it with me and I don't want it to get soggy by the time I eat it. But if you do want to dress it, just do like a little drizzle of olive oil, a drizzle of balsamic vinegar, and like a big squeeze of lemon juice. And it's just so good. It's like if you love tangy flavors, you're gonna love this. So today I also topped it with a little bit of leftover steak that I had from last night's dinner. So if I were to quantify it, this is probably like 8 grape tomatoes, about 1/3 of a large cucumber, about 1/3 of an avocado, and then there's probably about like 1 or 2 tablespoons of cottage cheese crumble. I added that in just to give it a little bit more protein. And then as you can see, there's just like a few small thin slices of some leftover steak from last night. So yeah, that is what I'm doing for lunch. I'm gonna take it with me. And when I do get hungry in like probably an hour or 2, I'm gonna have this there and then make dinner when I get home later. Hello guys, I'm sorry the lighting sucks. It's obviously darker now because it's dinner time. As you just saw, for dinner I am having this chicken mushroom alfredo. So I forgot to mention this when I was showing you guys my lunch, but you might have noticed that with my lunch I actually didn't have any like starchy carbs. And I actually did that intentionally because I knew that I wanted to have like a carbier and like a higher calorie dinner. This tends to be how I operate most days. I'm the kind of person who just feels more like psychologically satisfied having eaten like a bigger dinner. Like I like my last meal of the day to be like the big hurrah. I am also someone who has a sweet tooth, so usually after dinner I will have like a little bit of a sweet treat, and I like to account for that in my daily calorie allowance as well. And I know I just said calorie allowance and I'm not tracking right now, but these are just like the kinds of things I'm still conscious about. One of my favorite quotes that I always tell my clients is you can have it all, but just not all at the same time. Or in this case, you can have it all, but just not all on the same day. So for example, if I was to eat like a really, really big high calorie breakfast, and then same with lunch, and then like had a glass of wine after dinner, have a big dessert, like do the whole hurrah every single day, I can't really expect to maintain my weight, let alone do like a mini tune-up cup. So in knowing that I'm the kind of person who generally enjoys a bigger dinner and a little bit of dessert, I am personally okay being a little bit more stingy on like my lunch calories. And that's just like what works for me. So we all just kind of have to find what works for us. And I always say, go with like your natural rhythm. So if you're the kind of person who also enjoys eating a really big dinner, then like keep eating a big dinner. But if you're someone who prefers like a smaller dinner and you like to have like a way bigger lunch, then go with that option. But we just can't have like 3 giant meals and dessert and wine and chocolate and all the things and expect to like be in like a calorie budget, if that makes sense. Anyways, just to kind of break down this meal for you, as you probably can tell, we're getting tons of protein from the chicken breast. Like I gotta guess that this chicken breast in itself probably has at least 70 grams of protein. That's like one thing about chicken breast. It's like so high in protein. So I do try to like have chicken a lot throughout the week. The key is you have to season it well. So I seasoned it with garlic powder, lemon pepper, smoked paprika, and a little bit of chipotle powder. Kind of a random sounding blend, but honestly really good. And then obviously I put some olive oil on it as well. And then I cooked it in the air fryer at 400 for 20 minutes. And then this is 120 grams measured dry of rigatoni pasta noodles. One thing about me is I'm obsessed with pasta. So if I cook more than I actually want to eat, I will just like keep eating it. I have like no self-control with pasta. So normally, and especially if I'm just cooking for myself, I'll literally just cook the amount I want to eat. And then for our veg, we have mushrooms again. And I know I already had my mushrooms in breakfast, but we had so many mushrooms in the fridge and they were all gonna go bad. So I literally just needed to use them all. And then I wouldn't really say there's like a particular source of fat in here, although there's like fat in the Alfredo sauce I put on this. I also did sprinkle some Parmesan. So all around, I'm definitely getting a good amount of protein, carbs, fats, and veggies in this meal. And I'm so excited to go and eat it. So I'm gonna go do that now and watch a nice show. Okay guys, it's time for my little nightcap. I'm gonna make a little yogurt thing. Yeah, I don't really know exactly what I'm gonna put in it yet, but we're gonna find out. So when it comes to yogurts, I usually try to get one that is higher in protein. So this one from Siggy's is really good. And again, not like fully like on the scale tracking right now, but I always do just look at the back of the nutrition label just to get an idea of what the macros would be for like a certain portion size. So I can see that 3/4 of a cup is 19 grams of protein. I might not put exactly 3/4 of a cup, but I'm gonna put maybe close to like half a cup, like an amount that gets me at least 10 grams of protein, I guess. Although I'm honestly pretty sure like I've surpassed my protein goal for the day, especially after eating that chicken breast. But still, you know, doesn't hurt to have a little bit extra. Okay, I feel like that amount is good. And actually I do feel like I ended up putting around 3/4 of a cup. Okay, now I'm just gonna put a little bit of honey on there because I do want it sweeter. The yogurt that I'm using is like just plain yogurt. Okay, and then this is kind of random, but I think I'm gonna add some kiwi in there. These are golden kiwis. I actually found them at Costco and apparently they're a little bit sweeter, I think, than like normal kiwis. I feel like I'm just craving like a sweet tanginess, so I think it's gonna work. I'm also just gonna throw on a few pumpkin seeds. I feel like this is getting really random. And then maybe a little bit of mixed nut butter. You guys can tell me if you think I'm weird. Like, I don't know if this is a really weird combination to some people, but I don't know. Sometimes I just like to put like random toppings with like different textures on my yogurt and I just find it satisfying. Just like a few little dollops. So yes, it's a little bit random, but you know what? I have some protein in here. I have some healthy fats, some fiber, and let's give it a little bit of a taste test. So I'm gonna try to get a little bit of everything in every bite. Okay, it's a little bit of a weird flavor combination, but you know what? I kind of like it. I'm kind of digging it. It's like tangy, but sweet at the same time. Yeah, I like it. It's refreshing. Okay guys, I'm gonna turn off my camera for the night, but I hope you found this insightful. If you guys have any questions about anything I went over in the video, please feel free to leave it down in the comments and I will see you in the next one.